So in today's lesson, we're going to continue this idea of graphing parabolas. Again, exponents of 2. What we're going to see is a little bit different ways. You can see some familiar vocab though. Vertex, axis of symmetry, and any intercepts. What we'll notice or focus on today is that this is not vertex form, right? This is standard form of a quadratic, ax squared plus bx plus c. Now, we talked about how you could change it to vertex form, but there's another way that you can find these things without doing that. To find the axis of symmetry, you will do this little formula of x equals negative b over 2a. And we just then use what this is. So a equals 1, b equals negative 4, and c equals negative 5. So the opposite of b would be negative 4, which would be a positive 4, over 2 times 1, and that reduces down to 2. So the axis of symmetry is 2. Now let's recall in the past section, or the last couple days, we've seen the axis of symmetry go through the vertex. And so if this is x equals 2, that means that that's the coordinate point of the vertex, or the x coordinate point of the vertex. So what that means is that we know that if we have a vertex, it's an xy coordinate, that the x coordinate is 2. So the question is, what's y? That's what we got to figure out. So we take the 2 then, and we use the equation given, and every time we see an x, we're going to substitute in a 2. So 2 squared minus 4 times 2 minus 5. Y equals 4 minus 8 minus 5. Y equals negative 9. So the vertex, now putting it all together, is 2 comma negative 9. From there, we're going to plot that. So 2, negative 9. Now, a is still 1, okay? So we could use some of the tricks that we talked about. A being 1, over 1, up 1, over 2, up 4. And I can start plotting the points. Couple of other things though I want you to know. Look at where the y-intercept is. Do you see a connection? The y-intercept is the c value of this up here, ax squared plus bx plus c. So see that negative 5? I could have known that that's a y-intercept without the other points. The other thing that we've talked about is that the x-intercepts are the solutions. So I can go ahead and I can solve this. And this one happens to be factorable. So if I factor it, I get x equals 5 and x equals negative 1. Well, look at where those are. Negative 5 is here and negative 1 is here. If we were to continue these graphs, you would notice that it hits right through that. So again, different ways we can find different points. These are the x-intercepts. This is the y-intercept, which is from C back here at the top left corner. See me highlighting it. And I can use these formulas of axis of symmetry and vertex. So let's do another one of these together. Axis of symmetry is x equals negative b over 2a. Opposite of b would be negative 2 over 2 times 2. This reduces down to negative 1/2. So it's going to be halfway in between the two lines. So x equals negative 1/2. That is the x coordinate of the vertex. You're going to take that and plug it in for the x values into the equation. This will allow you to solve for the y value. So you get y equals 2 times 1/4 plus 1 plus 5. We're going to simplify that down. Y equals 1/2 plus 6, so 6 and a half. So the coordinate point, I'm going to put that back up here, is negative half and 6 and a half. So it's going to go right about here. And you know what, guys? Hopefully you caught my mistake. I made a little one right here. I should have plugged in a negative half, and that's a negative 1. That makes this 4 and 4 and a half. So let's fix that real quick. So it should be 4 and a half right here. So fixing that coordinate point, it's going to be negative half, 4 and a half. Now, let's look at some of those strategies that we talked about. This right here is the y-intercept, 5. So the y-intercept is right there. It's right there. I know it's kind of close, but it does give me extra points. Notice this is A, is 2, so it is going to go upward. Okay, so it's not going to have an x-intercept, or that's a real number. So we see that. Now we know that A is 2. And so I can go from here over 1 and up 2. If I went over 2, I would go up 8, which will be off the graph. Now, what could also happen is you could make a t-chart, and that'll help you generate some points. I want you to pause the video, and I want you to fill in the axis of symmetry, the vertex, and then graph it based on using the little formula that we talked about, and your y-intercept, and see if there's any x-intercepts as well. Okay, so you can see what my axis of symmetry is, my vertex, and you can see on the right side, I found the x-intercepts by solving it, meaning 2 and negative 4, that's where it's going to cross, so it goes all the way down. And you can also see my y-intercept is 8.